Rise and shine, campers. Today is the day that we set out on the awesome Grant Family RV Trip 2025 trip spectacular thing.
Yay! Yeah!
Am I in an RV? Ready to go on a big camping trip with my family? Yes, I am. Am I ready? No, I'm not.
Me neither.
We rented our RV from Cruise America and set off for a 12-day trip through New Mexico, Colorado, Utah, and Arizona.
Okay, guys, as you know, we have rented a 25-foot RV. Isn't it going to be fun to drive this around? Yeah. Except that's not what they gave us, because the jack donkeys who rented the 25-foot RV did not return it on time. So we have been upgraded to the 30-foot motorhome that sleeps up to 7 people. And now I'm going to turn it over to Danny to find out how we feel about that.
So in my opinion, it's not an upgrade if you specifically reserved something that you felt comfortable driving with, that you had reserved all your campgrounds for, that you wanted. So like they tried to play it off, hey, instead we're giving you this 30-foot one for the same price. I'm like, first of all, when we went to rent this one, the 30-foot one was actually cheaper, which doesn't make any sense, but it was. So we're actually paying more for something we didn't want. And then I had to contact 3 of our campgrounds to make sure that this would fit, because I had told them we were coming with a 25-foot one and a lot of them were like 29 or under. Thankfully, they all came back with yes, 30-foot should fit, but it was just like all this added extra stress when we were like packing and trying to hit the road. And then we had a whole other debacle of the electric going out.
Things didn't start off all that smoothly, as 10 minutes down the road we realized that the electrical system had stopped working. We pulled into an AutoZone and spent about 2 hours troubleshooting the problem with a couple of employees and 3 calls to the Cruise America tech support before we stumbled upon the reset button for the breaker box, which got everything up and running again.
Maybe it's a good thing we have the extra space because I packed a lot of stuff.
Finally, we were on the road. Due to the delay, we didn't get far and ended up camping out in a Walmart parking lot in a town called Seminole.
Day 2 of On the Road, RVing.
On the road again!
On the road again.
We made it to Roswell, New Mexico, where aliens are the theme of pretty much everything.
We actually found a McDonald's shaped like a spaceship. In honor of Ryan and Haley and their trip to all 50 states and putting a little grape jelly on top of our McGriddle, which is something that I never thought I would do until Haley started doing it, and it actually looked appetizing.
On the road again.
Our first major stop was Moorfield Campground in Mesa Verde, Colorado. The campground was the most private of all the ones that we visited, with a good distance between sites and often natural walls of trees and bushes between you and your neighbors.
Not to brag or anything, but I did just back in and park a 30-foot RV. Okay, this is it. This is what we've been waiting for. 9 hours of yelling and arguing and screaming at them to
Sit in your seat. Stop touching each other. Honestly, the boys were way worse than Talia. She like was a trooper.
She was great.
She sat in her car seat the whole time and like never really cried. So she's my favorite child right now.
It's a wild frog!
Aww, thanks.
So we found this really cool amphitheater, and Teddy has a presentation for us.
Okay, so there are bears around here, and I have a mountain. People have been dying from bears.
People have been dying from bears.
Yes, they're all dead. They're right there.
What you cooking?
My famous recipe, hamburgers.
Frozen hamburgers. But you season them well, honey. That's what matters.
How do you like your little cabin bed?
It's awesome! I just couldn't fall asleep.
It was sweltering. You told me several times that you were hot. It was really hot in here.
Oh, and thank you, so I'm hot. Thank you. Thank you for the compliment.
Embarrassed to say I'm hot.
And it was loud because we were next to a busy road.
That actually didn't bother me.
Oh.
The only thing I liked doing was looking up at like 2 a.m. to see if Walmart was still open.
Oh yeah, because we were in a Walmart parking lot. Yeah. What about you? How was it for you last night? You were awake for a long time too.
I only fell asleep 2 times.
Yeah.
But otherwise, yeah.
I have a secret bucket list of 10 things that I hope to accomplish on this trip. If Dad can do all the things on his secret bucket list, I'll treat them to ice cream when our trip is over. What did we find? Vanilla
cream soda, and it's made in Durango, which is like a half hour from
Yeah, we passed it on our way here.
One of the things on my secret bucket list was to do a devotional with my family on Sunday morning, something to remind the boys about the beauty of God's creation and the value of unplugging from our electronics from time to time. While in Mesa Verde, we toured what's known as Cliff Palace, the largest historic cliff dwelling in North America. It's almost 1,000 years old, y'all, and is, frankly, pretty amazing.
The tour guide asked us what the Cliff Palace means to us or what's special about it. And I think to me it speaks of human ingenuity and resourcefulness, reminding me that we can live without our iPads and our electronics because human beings are capable of so many cool things.
I mean, they were building like circular towers that tapered off at the top with literally stone. And they had to go, what she said, 5 miles down to the river to get the clay.
Wow.
Yeah. So not only was it like really good engineering, but also like patience and endurance, sticking with something that probably took a long time to build. And the boys did awesome. Like, she talked for half an hour and they sat there just listening.
Let's show you guys a tour of the RV. So when you walk in, you come this way and we have our table where we ate, and we also played card games. And then here is where I took my naps.
Oftentimes during arguments, Toby would sit over there and argue, and Teddy would sit over there and argue.
Yeah. So this is where we cook food. We got a microwave, thankfully, and we got and like the fridge. Sometimes be on. It's not on right now. And then you come in the bathroom here. You got a toilet. And then you come in here, you get a very nice shower. And then this is where Mom and Dad slept.
Driving this thing is a behemoth. I have to compare it to what it would be like to steer a 747. It's just as loud, it's just as cumbersome. When we're in here trying to talk to each other at 75 miles an hour, it's like we have to shout at the top of our lungs. This door rattles so violently driving down the road that we actually had to pat it with a couple of towels just to keep it quiet as we were driving. And we found the refrigerator door flies open when we were traveling down the road. So we bought some duct tape to solve that problem.
Number one reason that I don't like about the RV. The door doesn't stay shut. It's very loud, so we had to put rugs in the door. And the toilet only holds so much, so I can't do my thing in there.
On the road again.
On day 4, we set out for Utah. I had spent some time in Salt Lake and enjoyed some hiking in that region, so I was very much looking forward to higher elevations and cooler temperatures once again.
We are at Four Corners Monument, which I've heard is one of the most underwhelming tourist attractions you could possibly visit, but we're here to... That's my ear! Ouch!
Our first stop was Four Corners Monument. We touched all 4 states, we took some pictures, and then it was
On the road again.
We took a quick trip into Arizona for a pit stop at Glen Canyon Dam to take in the sights and get a taste of what might be in store for us at the Grand Canyon.
We've seen a lot of beautiful things on this trip, a lot of unique things. One of the most amazing is green grass. Don't see that in Texas.
Then we turned north back into Utah for a stay at the North Campground in Bryce Canyon in Utah. These campgrounds fill up fast, and so Danny was sure to make this reservation months in advance. Pretty much our entire trip was built around when we got to stay at Bryce Canyon.
We have made it to Bryce Canyon. Woo! What a drive. Just kidding. We got here a little while ago. Time for supper. Won't you join us?
Hi.
That was so cute. Have I completely reversed our entire trip just so that we can stay at Bryce Canyon National Park? Yes, I have.
This trip has been a work in progress for many months. Danny has done the most work booking campsites and planning our route, while I was busy working to afford the trip. The kids even got in on the fundraising, hosting lemonade stands and raising money. It's been a team effort, that's for sure. All so I could get to Utah and check another item off my bucket list of being cold. It was chilly in the canyon, it was chilly at night, and unlike San Antonio, I never felt like the sun hated me.
One of my camping pastimes is having devil dogs with my dad. You like the devil dog too?
The next day, Danny and Toby went for a sunrise walk. Then we set off for a hike through Bryce Canyon. This was a really magical place. The campground was quiet and accommodating with lots of space. The hikes were amazing with probably the most unique scenery we encountered on our entire trip.
Just checking another item off of Dad's secret bucket list. Here at Bryce Canyon, you don't have a nice day, you have a Bryce day. One of the things on my bucket list was to read a paperback book. No PDFs, no e-readers, nothing like that. So the book I found was The Importance of Being Earnest, the life of actor Jim Varney. Jim Varney has been a staple of my existence. His sense of humor in the Ernest movies has become so ingrained in my sense of humor. I feel like Ernest is actually a part of me. That's how much he meant to me growing up. And when he died in 2000, I remember when he died. It was the first celebrity who I was familiar with that I was sad about. Like I think I cried when I heard that he had died. So this was a really interesting book to read, and it was a nice little trip down memory lane.
Know what I mean, Vern?
Tonight on the menu, macaroni and cheese, some kind of chicken soup, which is housed in a matter of seconds, and some pumpkin muffins.
So go, I'm gonna house this muffin.
Go ahead, you house that muffin.
I'm gonna house this muffin.
Go ahead, let me show me how you house that muffin.
Well, I wanna save it.
We ended our second day at Bryce Canyon with good old-fashioned s'mores round the fire.
Another item on Dad's secret bucket list, gone.
On day 6, we traveled to Zion State Park in Utah and stayed at a campground called Zion River Resort. It was a favorite campsite of the kids with access to a river to play in, sand to build in, a little playground, and an outdoor pool where they made what I would call single-serving friends.
Can you say good? Go. Can you say morning? Morning. Put that together, what do you got?
The next day, we spent some time taking in the sights and hiking around Zion. I found some soda made in Utah, and we captured a family photo. Which reminds me, anyone notice something in every one of our family photos? That's right, the Grant family RV trip of 2025 is now a party of 6.
Road again.
On day 8, it was time to bid farewell to Utah and make the long trek down the mountain and across the unending roads of Arizona. I'd have to say that driving through the flats of Arizona and New Mexico were the worst parts of this trip. There were times when you could see 15 to 20 miles of road just stretching out in a straight line in front of you with nothing around you except desert shrubs and blue sky. But we finally made it to the Grand Canyon. But first we made a stop at the Navajo Bridge to take in some spectacular views of the Colorado River making its way into what will eventually become the Grand Canyon. A short little zip later and we were deep in the woods of the Grand Canyon National Forest. At our campsite we were surrounded by deer, elk, and a really fat squirrel, and a short 15-minute walk to one of the most spectacular views any of us have ever seen.
What do you think, Toby?
Awesome.
No, there are no words that can prepare you for what you see at the Grand Canyon. Like when we were at Bryce Canyon? We were looking at a canyon and I said to the boys, this is nothing compared to what we're gonna see at the Grand Canyon. But even that, like in my head, imagining what the Grand Canyon would actually look like could not prepare me for what I actually saw.
It's huge, and like to think that you're only seeing such a small portion of what it actually is crazy. And also terrifying as a parent, because I just keep imagining one of my children falling down it.
Gee, I wonder which child she could be talking about.
We spent 2 nights at Trailer Village under the clearest sky filled with the most stars that I've ever seen, including the Milky Way. I couldn't remember the last time I've seen the Milky Way. The next morning, we had some Grand Canyon coffee and spent some time at the Grand Canyon Visitor Center before venturing on a short hike. Hiking all the way down into the canyon takes all day, and there are warning signs about altitude sickness, dehydration, and cold weather, so we decided to keep to the trails that we were confident we could handle with 3 kids in tow. Back at our camper, I checked another item off my secret bucket list. The elk were awfully interested in what we were tossing back and forth. And later that night, I was able to check off another item from my bucket list. The next day, we were up bright and early for another trek across miles of open road.
Morning, guys. Tally's new line.
We had planned a little stop that we hadn't told the boys about, so we were curious to see how they would react and if they would even be interested in Bearizona. Bearizona is a super cool drive-through zoo featuring reindeer, bear, wolves, bison, and more.
Tundra wolves, windows up, stay in vehicle, special diet, do not feed, no exceptions, no exceptions. Is that clear?
No. Baby's here. Good job. The baby's here. The baby.
You can get out and spend a few more hours touring the zoo on the inside. Bearizona is a place where you could spend a lot more time learning about how this habitat is helping wild animals that, for one reason or another, might not survive on their own. And for a kid, what could be better to end a surprising day than a trip to McDonald's?
The road again.
Another item on my bucket list was to be surprised by something new. Obviously, the Grand Canyon, bears, wolves, they're all new things to see and be amazed by, but I was wondering if there was something out there that would surprise me. And the sunset in Arizona caught me off guard because it was literally all around me. The entire horizon for 360 degrees was a band of pink and orange hues. It was the same in the front as it was behind, and that was pretty cool. After a night in a Walmart parking lot and a few apple cider donuts later, I woke up to the boys trying to sell their sister car insurance.
I need your ID and driver's license. We've been trying to contact you, but your car insurance, we haven't been responding. Would you like to send a message?
Welcome to New Mexico and the White Sands National Park. What I thought would be a quick stop to sled down some dunes turned out to be one of the kids' favorite spots on the whole trip. I should have realized that for 2 boys born and raised on the beaches of Hawaii, that a desert full of sand to play in would be, well, a sandbox.
It's as hard of work as riding in the snow. And coming back up the hill is just as hard. It's a workout.
Like much of this state, the White Sands is just kind of a whole lot of nothing. Don't get me wrong, it's beautiful. If this is your thing. I don't think it's my thing, but...
We hit the road and landed next at Carlsbad RV Park and Campground and enjoyed some time in the indoor pool, and I did the dishes.
Rise and shine, sleepyheads. How was the last night in the RV?
Good. Oh, by the way, the rainforest came inside. The rainforest is coming inside. No, it's more coming inside. Look, I got the tree outside.
We woke up bright and early the next morning to tour the famous caves in Carlsbad National Park. We descended about 80 stories into the earth for a 1.25 mile hike. Though visitors can only access the main chamber about 750 feet down, some caverns reach a depth of up to 1,600 feet. And then our trip came to an end. There was nothing left but a long 7-hour drive through Texas and back home. If you're thinking of doing a trip like this, I'll say the same thing that several other people told me. Just do it. It shouldn't matter how broke you are or how much time you don't have. There should always be room to make some memories.